Happy New Year, Broken Arrow family. I don't know about you, but I am very happy to see 2020 come to a close, and I have never been so proud to be from a community like Broken Arrow in this last year, watching how our community and our families came together and helped each other through this global pandemic. We are now have completed 65 days straight of instruction in person for at least some of our sites. I realize some of our secondary sites were in distance learning for an extended period of time. So I wanted to give you an update on where we are now. Our plan is still to come back on January 4th. Of course, we are monitoring everything daily. Our staff numbers as of yesterday, I'm doing this on New Year's Eve, so our staff numbers yesterday were close to 50. And they're going to probably remain that way, if not climb a little bit in the next few weeks. But we're going to continue to try to do those things that we know keep us in school. So we need your help to continue doing those things. At least we know now there is some light at the end of the tunnel. I have spoken with the governor's office as of yesterday, and they are going to start with our employees and all people who are 65 and older. It should start as early as next week. So we are continuing to get instructions from them on what that will look like and whether we'll be able to provide any of those immunization spots ourselves. Wanted to remind our parents that January 4th is a distance learning day. So we'll take that first Monday back as distance learning, and then we'll return to classes on Tuesday, barring any changes in our COVID numbers. Just a reminder, we do have those posted on our website, so you'll always see them. And we've started posting them on social media also so that you have them. We have continued as a COVID response team in the district level. We have continued to meet over winter break and watch those numbers so that we can monitor where we are and whether we'll be able to return to classes. So we are hopeful that we'll be able to come back. We know that the most important numbers that we have are our substitute numbers and our bus drivers. That's what keeps us in school. And then also a reminder that we make those decisions based on our color-coded phases, and those are from the Oklahoma Department of Health. It seems like everyone has changed their phases several times, so we're trying to stick with the same one that we started with, and that's the Oklahoma State Department of Health. A link to that color-coded map is available on our website at www.brokenarrow.baschools.org. And then if you use a /COVID-19, that will take you straight to that site. Also, just know that if we make a decision tomorrow, that it's always subject to change. We've experienced this from site to site, classroom to classroom. And even, elementary or secondary, that it can change overnight just depending on, again, the most important part is whether we have substitute teachers and hitting that mark where we have way too many teachers out at a site to where we need to close down at least for a little while. Looking forward to the future. We have a light at the end of the tunnel with immunization, and I want to encourage everyone to keep an eye on what's happening with that. We will continue to communicate on that so that everyone knows where they are available and who can get immunized. All of our staff will be able to get immunized in this phase 2. That means teachers, support staff, bus drivers, child nutrition workers, everyone can get immunized because they are part of the education family, and we were moved to the second phase according to the governor. So the last thing I wanted to kind of touch on is I know that there have been many conversations in the news recently about state testing, and you hear a lot of people talking about, oh, we're getting behind, we need to catch up. This is a myth. There is no catching up. Yes, we have state standards, but this is a year unlike any other, and we need to show some grace. We need to show some grace for our students, for our teachers, and for ourselves, that this is different than anything we've experienced. So we set those standards, and we set what those expectations are for learning. So if anything else that you take away from this, I want you to take the pressure off yourself as a parent, your children, that we're going to get back in school and we're going to get back to learning, And, our students are going to be fine. I don't know about you, but I'm of an age that we didn't even have state testing when I was in school, and somehow we all turned out okay. We ended up going on to military, to tech, to career, to college, whatever our plan was, without that state testing. So we're going to be just fine. The state testing this year will just be a measurement. It's just going to let us know where kids are, so we know if there are any holes in learning, what we need to do to correct or plug those holes so that they can move on to the next standards. Again, this will just be a tool for our teachers, so I want to take the pressure off of the teachers, the parents, the students, that we just need a good measurement of where students are, and that's it. Now, the last thing I wanted to say about state testing and learning is that our kids have learned a lot. They've probably learned more than generations before. They've learned compassion, by watching our nurses, our healthcare workers, by the way our neighbors are responding to everyone, our child nutrition workers, the way at the beginning they reached out and they were amazing, the way they were providing food to our families and still do. They learned how important relationships are. I think that we took a lot of things for granted prior to the pandemic, and our students and we have learned how important those relationships are. And I have to give a shout out to our bus drivers, our teachers, our principals, our counselors, all of our staff, the way they have really bonded with our students and used every method, every piece of technology possible to make sure that those relationships stay strong. Something else they've learned, that our students have learned, is the do's and don'ts of public conversation and debate. I think in times of stress, people tend to behave to the extreme, whatever that is, but keep in mind, our students are learning from us, and they're learning what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in public debate, and how to really work together to find solutions instead of looking for more problems. So I'm really proud of that. And they're watching us. They're watching everything we do. And most of all, I think our students have learned gratefulness. They have learned to realize that we can't take public education for granted. We can't take our school for granted. I've visited so far 27 of our 29 sites, and every single classroom I'll go in and I'll say, so what do you think about being back in school? Our students are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be back. And so that gratefulness to have free education, that makes me so proud that our students are realizing the importance of that. So again, I want to remind everyone to keep an eye on our website, January 4th, Distance Learning Day, and know that you will receive phone calls and emails that will alert you on what our next steps are in opening up following our winter break. So thank you. Thank you for your patience and for your compassion, kindness as we navigated this. And I cannot wait to get our kids back. And I'm really excited about closing out this school year. So thank you to everyone, and we can't wait to see you back.